I grew up in Leeds, suburb of Sioux City. Went through the parochial school system. I went to Heelan High School, where at Heelan High School, I was very involved in athletics as well as music. And I came in as a freshman already preparing for the All-State Festival.
The longest day I ever did see.
I did as much as I could all the time. And then I was also involved in swing choir and choir and art and just a lot of different things. And I didn't really know anything about opera. And so I just was really lucky. One time I saw the Barber of Seville on Iowa Public Television, and it just gave me this idea that, hey, maybe I could do opera, because I knew I wanted to sing, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I auditioned for Simpson College, got accepted, I got a good scholarship, and so I went to Simpson in Indianola, Iowa. From there, I graduated Simpson and went straight into the Met Young Artist Program, Metropolitan Opera, and just learned a lot while I was there. I moved on from the Met and started having an international career. So I'm pretty honored to be back, and of course, being my hometown where I grew up, it's a thrill to be back.
When you mention John Osborn, there's a place right now in the world where there's only a few voices in that area, and John Osborn is just unbelievable, and a great guy too. Love working with him.
I'm away from home a lot more than I'm at home. I only spend about 10% of the time at home, or really I could even say 10% of the time in the US. I was in Paris for 5 days before coming here to Sioux City, where I'm here for 5 days to do my first Beethoven 9. It's the first time that I've sung the tenor part, and it's notorious for being a held-in tenor part, which is heroic. It takes a lot of flexibility, and it's pretty complex. It's deceptively difficult, and especially the ensembles. But even my first entrance in my aria, the fro, it's like da-dun, 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 da-dun. But it feels like da-dun, da-dun. No, but that's actually beat 2. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. It's a wonderfully crazy piece. You know, you have to plan. I have all these breath marks written, but it's exciting. I'm flying to Venice to begin a new role, Fernand in La Favorite. It's a French version of an opera more commonly known as La Favorita, or The Favorite of the King. And it's an opera by Donizetti, and I'll be making my debut at La Fenice, which is the famous opera house in Venice. And I get to spend about 6 weeks there. My wife was gonna come out and visit me, so I've been married for almost 20 years now, and my wife is a singer as well, but a lot of times she comes to visit me and comes and helps give me some pointers. We have a 15-year-old daughter who sometimes is with us, but most of the time now she's in high school. So she has to stay home, and when she's home, she stays with my wife's parents, who live on the same street. It's kind of a crazy life. I'm not jet set, which is great, because at least I get to go to a place for like 5-6 weeks, sometimes up to 8 weeks. And you don't perform opera every day, so you have 1 or 2 or 3 days off in between performances, sometimes a whole week. I really have learned to speak Italian and French and German and Spanish, and so you really have time to get to know a country, to get to know a city, to get to know their culture. That's what it kind of means to have an international career, and not everybody has that, but it's something that I have, and I feel very fortunate to have that.
John Osborn made his professional operatic debut in 1993 at Des Moines Metro Opera, where for more than 40 years the Apprentice Artist Program has provided opportunities for young singers.
From the very start of the company, it was important to us that we include an apprentice program. Our program is one of the oldest and largest of its kind in the United States. We had 1,200 applications to be a part of this program. We auditioned about 800 of those people, and we selected 40 singers to be with us in residence during the summer festival season. They participate in a program that is extraordinarily intensive, where they spend their daytime hours learning about the disciplines of being an opera singer.
They need a voice. They need an instrument. They need something in the throat that can do what you and I cannot do. I think that is one of the things that makes this program unique, is that there is so much energy devoted to the training of these singers over and beyond what the demands of the main stage are. When I say main stage, I mean the chorus, people covering roles, understudying roles, and singing small roles on the main stage. They have a whole other curriculum here that is completely devoted to their training as young singers.
The pressures of performing are very hard, and all of us are type A personalities, so that means we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well. So I think it's really important to take good care of yourself, just continuing to better yourself every day, and if you believe that this is what you're meant to do and it's what you really want to do and you can't imagine doing anything else, then that will carry you through. I was here last summer as well as this summer, and you sing for a lot of people while you're here, and so people start to get to know you and hear you, and then, you know, when I am singing an audition in New York City, it might happen that somebody has heard me the summer before in Des Moines, and so that certainly helps to get a foot in the door.
The National Council is a program of the Met created specifically to identify new young talent. You have to let the voice grow and mature naturally and well with good technique, good practice habits, caring for your instrument. I mean, it takes almost a decade to turn out a working, rent-paying opera singer. And if you went to medical school, you know, it would take that long. I don't think anyone realizes how long it really takes to develop.
Opera takes a lot of determination. There's a lot of rejection. You have to have a thick skin, and you have to be able to bounce back from that. A lot of singers, after undergraduate degree, after a master's degree, they start doing competitions and rounds of auditions, which costs a lot of money. It's a lot of travel. You're singing with people you've never met before, with conductors you've never worked with before. And you have to understand yourself and especially your voice.
With opera singing, you're singing over an orchestra without amplification into often very large theaters. We have the luxury of having a small, intimate theater here in Des Moines, but many of the opera houses here throughout this country are minimum 2,500 seats. And training the body in a way that it can physically support making that amount of sound in a healthy way, creating a technique that will sustain a singer not only through a full role, a long evening of singing, but for a full career. We want these singers not just to sing into their early 30s, but to really sing for their lifetime.
When Des Moines Metro Opera celebrated their 40th anniversary, I realized I had been somehow involved in opera for 40 years. The very first summer, they were looking for students, anybody who would be in the opera chorus, and when my voice teacher said, "How would you like to be in the opera chorus this summer?" I said, "Sure," not ever having seen an opera at that point. And the idea of being in an opera chorus was like, okay, here's something I know nothing about, but sounds completely outside the box, and I was all for it. It turned out to be just the love of my life from the very, very beginning.
The training we get here is essential, not only to realize our talent, but to hone our skills. I think talent and skills are very different things. Skills are what allow you to do your performance at the level you do every single night. And the training we get here is to do just that. That's why it's so intense, you know? They say the hottest fire produces the strongest steel. It really is that idiom.
That our investment of them in 8 weeks of their training will pay off down the road by my hearing them in a couple of years and saying, good, they've gone the next step, and now they're ready for me to bring them back as a main stage artist. When that happens, we're very happy. We feel that the investment that we've made has paid off.